mynews.studio.
Today, Brazil's government is drawing a clear boundary in the Amazon. But does putting that line on a legal map actually keep out illegal loggers and chainsaws?
Today is August 26th, 2025. Let's dive in. Brazil has now officially recognized the Munduruku tribe's claim to over 178,000 hectares of Amazon rainforest. That sounds significant, but when we talk about recognition, what does that actually mean for the people and the land?
Recognition here means the Ministry of Justice has started the legal demarcation process. It's the government saying, yes, this land belongs to the Munduruku, but...
So it's not like the land is instantly protected. There's more that needs to happen after this first step.
Exactly. Demarcation is just the beginning. After recognition, the next phase is marking out the boundaries on the ground. That means surveyors, government officials, and sometimes indigenous teams go into the forest and physically set up markers. Only then can the process of removing illegal miners or loggers begin.
Who's actually responsible for getting the invaders out? Is that something the government handles? Or does the tribe have to step in?
That's supposed to be the government's job. Officially, law enforcement is responsible for removing illegal occupants. But in reality, it often happens slowly or not at all. That's why the Munduruku have sometimes taken matters into their own hands. They've led self-demarcation efforts, literally walking the borders and confronting intruders themselves. Still, for full legal protection, the president needs to formally ratify the territory.
So even with recognition, there's still a big gap between what's on paper and what happens in the forest. What stands in the way of actually securing that land?
A lot of it comes down to economic interests. There's pressure from mining, agribusiness, and infrastructure projects. And then there's politics. Brazil's Congress is currently debating laws that could weaken indigenous rights. For instance, Law 14701 from 2023 allows some large projects to move ahead without indigenous consent.
Just to be clear, if those laws pass, could they actually override the recognition? Or do they make it easier for exceptions?
They don't exactly override recognition, but they do create loopholes. For example, if a project is declared to be of national interest, it can go forward even if the local community objects. So the fight shifts to the courts, case by case.
Is this situation unique to the Munduruku, or does it set an example for other indigenous communities across Brazil?
It definitely sets a precedent. The Demarcation Now movement is picking up momentum. Other tribes see the Munduruku's persistence, their self-demarcation, legal action, advocacy, and are following their lead. It's a sign for indigenous groups across South America. Progress can happen, but vigilance is essential.
What about internationally? Does this have implications for people outside Brazil?
Yes, it does. The Amazon is crucial for the global climate. It's sometimes called the planet's lungs. When indigenous groups have secure land rights, deforestation rates fall. So this isn't just a local issue. It's about climate action and human rights worldwide.
And international organizations, are groups like Greenpeace actually having an impact here, or is it mostly about raising public awareness?
It's both. Organizations like Greenpeace and WWF provide resources and advocacy, and they draw international attention to violations. There's also a legal angle. Brazil has signed treaties that require indigenous consultation, and with the upcoming COP30 climate conference in Brazil, the government is facing extra scrutiny.
So, global attention can lead to pressure and accountability. But does it last? Or does interest fade once the headlines move on?
That's always a risk. Sustained pressure is key, whether from media, diplomats, or even consumers. If that fades, there's room for domestic politics to quietly roll back protections.
Say in the end, recognition is just a milestone. The real challenge is enforcing protection on the ground, and this is a test case for indigenous and environmental rights everywhere.
That's right. The Munduruku's success shows what's possible, but also how delicate progress can be. The story is still unfolding.
For anyone following the Amazon, today's episode is a reminder. Drawing lines on a map is only the beginning. The real question is, Who has the power to decide what happens inside those lines?
Thanks for tuning in and staying informed. The future of the Amazon and the rights of its people really do touch all of us.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it now for free.